I saw you with the box. What was in the box? What's in the box?
What's in the box? Hello my YouTube fam, welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Felicia and every Sunday I'll be bringing you content about filmmaking, tech and gear. So if that is something you're into, consider subscribing. Breaking down a script doesn't have to be as hard as you think. In fact, I've got a few different methods that I use to break down a script which I hope help you in some way, shape or form on your next project. I used to do this the old-fashioned way with a pen and paper. Earlier this week, however, I decided to jump into the 21st century and purchase a new iPad. It does save on a lot of printing and a lot of losing of the notes. Welcome to the future, Felicia. So with all that said, it's time to do a little bit of screen recording and bring you through a scene from one of my most favourite films, Seven by Kevin Walker.
What's in the box?
Well, not quite that scene, but pretty close to it. Let's go. I like to use Notability for this because I'm able to search notes via my handwriting. So if I've lost something and it's in my handwriting but it's somewhere deep within my notes, I can use the search function to find that exact piece of writing. So here we go. I have preloaded the Seven script off a website called dailyscripts.com and I've popped it into Notability. Before you start writing your notes, I'd highly recommend you have a read of your script at least twice, and that way you're not thinking about how it's going to look, rather you're just taking the script in for an initial reading. After reading, I like to draw up a little bit of a legend about the colours that we're going to use in our notes and what they're going to represent. 3 colours for the scenes. So we've got a blue there, maybe we'll go orange next, and then we'll go yellow. Now these will represent the different times of day that those scenes are set. So we have night, and then we have afternoon, and this will be evening as well, morning/day. Now we'll use a general pen to mark out any other notes, just so we can underline and highlight and do things like that. Blue as camera notes, red as lighting notes, and then green I like to do as emotions. Cool. Alright, so that's our little legend sorted. Well, let's go back up to the script and start taking some notes. So let's use the afternoon/evening scene marker to mark out our scenes here and here. Typically I'll do this for the whole script first up, and then I'll go back through scene by scene and make the notes per scene. So we've marked out our scenes, but we also need to number them if they aren't numbered already. Okay, so we have 2 scenes here. They're both set in the early evening, so therefore they are highlighted in this orange color here. So we'll grab the blue pen and we'll go through and we'll mark out any camera notes or ideas that we have. A little bit of a side note, if you haven't had your meeting with your director yet, I'd still highly recommend doing this sort of process, and then you can take those ideas that you envisage the film to look like and bounce them off the director. But don't hang on to them too tightly. Your director may have a completely different stance on the matter and they may want to make it look completely different to how you envisaged it. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so let's go through and write down our camera notes. He signals for the van to stop and then fires a warning shot into the air. The van is about 100 yards away, still coming. I can already see here that the van being about 100 yards away, that sort of tells me that we need to see that that is the case, that it is so far away. There's 2 different ways we could probably do that. There's probably more ways we could do that, but the 2 that come to mind are an extremely long lens, and the other one that comes to mind is a heli shot. Later in the script, our second scene is set in the police chopper and it's circling over the industrial parks, paying attention to exactly what is going on up here. So there's 2 different options there. We can chat to our director about which one is suitable for this script. Somerset walks towards it, breathless, pointing his gun. Stop the van, stop. The van brakes, sliding on the loose roadway. This sort of stuff, the loose roadway, wheels sliding, that sort of stuff, it sort of makes me think of like an extreme close-up of that sort of thing. So let's put in ECU. But also the fact that it is saying that he's staying about 10 feet away sort of makes me think that this should be a wide. So maybe with the feeling of this scene, we could go with jarring cuts between ECU and wide. That'll create a little bit of confusion, make the whole scene a little bit more uncomfortable, which is kind of what I think is going on in Somerset's mind. He's not too sure who this person is. There's a high stakes sort of situation going on. And so we'll go to the green pen, we'll jump forward a bit and we'll just go breathless, pointing gun, fires a warning shot, like that sort of stuff. Let's just say frantic. And that's the sort of feeling that we're going for in this scene. You could probably also say that you want the camera movement to be a bit jittery, so let's just say erratic movement. Okay, so the driver of the van, a delivery man, pushes the door open, slides out slow, taking off his sunglasses. Now, considering this is a high stakes situation, and they're not too sure who this person is in the van and what their purposes are, maybe we could prolong seeing his face to make him look a bit more sinister. His van, the door, his sunglasses, we could use multiple things within the environment to obscure his face. So let's say we'll put in here, obscure delivery driver. I realize that this video is going to go on forever and not everybody will watch this, but if you're super interested, thank you for staying on board. Delivery man, Jesus Christ, don't shoot me, turn around, hands on your head, what the hell's going on, who are you, and what are you doing out here? This sort of stuff I imagine playing out in like an over-the-shouldery sort of thing, but I could imagine maybe because Somerset doesn't really have the upper hand yet and he's not too sure what's going on, maybe having Somerset dirty frame. So the actor that is going to be the delivery man is sort of obscuring half of Somerset's frame, sort of crowding in on him a bit. We'd also use a longer lens to make it seem like he's quite focused but still erratic. It will intensify the erratic movement of the camera. And then with the delivery driver, so Del, maybe he could be more clean in his frame so Somerset's not taking up too much of his frame. Excellent. And then the police chopper, early evening through headset. It's just a package for this guy, David, Detective David Mills. So at this moment, California has a realization. We as the audience also have a realization. So this here is actually a turning point. Let's put in TP. That is a turning point. It is where the emotions change in the scene, or we're gonna label these as one scene pretty much. That's where the emotions change and things take a turn. So turning point. We could also put in here that we need to linger on reaction. Now this could be also on California as well as Somerset. You can actually even put Somerset's reaction further up here. So I'm just delivering a package, that could be Somerset's reaction. Let's go through and do any lighting notes. Let's just pretend that we haven't done a location recce for this. The location is Industrial Road, it's all exteriors and it's shot in the early evening, so let's say it's around sunset. If it's sunset, we have to think of time of day in real life and utilizing as much time of this golden hour as we possibly can. It might mean shooting it over a few days, considering that the shoot is exterior and that is your scene there. We've got to say we are going to need a generator. That is a very important thing. And once we determine how many lights we're going to need to make this work, we can work out exactly what strength of generator, what type of generator we need to make this whole thing come together. So let's put down a few little notes down here about lighting, general notes. All right, so in here we're going to put down generator, cool. We're also going to put down, we're going to need some quite powerful lights, so maybe a couple of M18s. I don't know, let's pretend we have a lot of money. Buy $1 million. You get the point. We need a lot of lights, but we haven't done our recce yet, so we aren't 100% sure what we need. We're just writing a rough list of things that we might need and styles that we might need to play to. So let's also say, because it is like sunset, so we'll need some like raking shadows over the landscape. And one thing I was thinking actually, in this little interaction here between the delivery man and Somerset, I had an idea of how we're going to light them. Typically for films that I do, I like to make lighting plans per character. It kind of helps me determine the emotional state of the character as well as their intentions in the film and their personalities. It sort of brings all that out. So let's go with the delivery man first because he's quite simple. Delivery man lighting ideas. Because he is quite a mysterious character and we're not too sure who he is, what he's there for, what his intentions are in the film, let's backlight him because that will obscure his face a little bit. So if we know that the sun is going to be setting in the west, put west and rising in the east, so the sun's going to be like over here somewhere, I don't know. So in that sort of setup, you could have delivery man here and Somerset here, meaning that he is backlit and then Somerset, in contrast, will be frontlit. So really this is just a general overview of the lighting ideas that you have, any equipment notes that you have, any equipment that you might need. It's totally up to you the way that you set this out, but that's generally what I do in this circumstance. Is I'll go through scene by scene, I'll write my camera notes, I'll write emotional notes, make sure I've developed where the turning point is or what the emotional feeling of that particular scene is, as well as putting any lighting notes. In the camera notes as well, I kind of determine camera equipment that we will need for the shoot or for this scene. If there's any special camera equipment that you need, i.e. a dolly or a crane or anything like that, I just write that wherever. Okay, great. So now we've written all our notes, but that's still looking messy, right? What I would recommend doing is let's go back. We can make a new note per location is how I like to do it. So we make a new note right here, I don't know, marshlands, because that was our location. Great. We can write down location details. We can also write down scenes. And from there we can outline, you know, scene 1, scene 7, scene, I don't know, 14, whatever scenes are in this location. And then from there, what we can do is we can pop in camera and then jump back to our script. We can go, okay, so those were all our camera notes. Let's just rewrite all of our camera notes in here in a neat fashion. They're all in order. And then we can go to lighting. And we can do the same thing. The good thing about doing this on a tablet is the fact that I can move things around if I need to. So if I have run out of space underneath camera, but I have more notes to put in for camera, I can just select the area that has the lighting notes. I can grab that and move it further down, and there we go. I've now got more space to write the rest of my camera notes. In this sort of document as well, I would put any reference images or pictures of the location once I've done my location recce. Basically, every single note conceivable for this location will be put here. So I want to thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you got something out of it. I know it's a long one and I know it's not the most exciting of videos, but thank you so much for hanging in there. This is just my method of how I like to break down scripts. If you have your own method of breaking down scripts, or maybe you work in a different part of film and you break down scripts differently, feel free to leave it in the comment section below because I would love to see how you guys do it. I also just wanted to take this moment to say a massive thank you to absolutely everybody who has subscribed. I am now over 100 subscribers, which is a very good achievement for a couple of months, and I look forward to many more of you joining the fam. I am so pleased to have you in my life. I really enjoy making this content and I hope you enjoy it as well. And forgive me for the constantly changing styles and the constantly changing backgrounds. I'm still working on it. I'm still teething this whole thing. It's gonna look brilliant and I can't wait for a style to develop, and I can't wait to bring you on that journey with me. So thank you. Most importantly, if you enjoyed this video, please remember to give it a big fat thumbs up, and if you would like to see more of my face and maybe learn a little bit more about filmmaking, tech and gear, remember to subscribe, and I'll see you next Sunday.